Hey there, lovely people. Welcome to another Writing Tip Tuesday. I'm Sammy, and I'm a writer who likes to help other writers become better writers. Today, I want to talk to you about your book's target audience. What exactly is a target audience? So let's think about it as if you threw your book into a huge crowd of people and you knew that the people over there like mystery books and the people over there like horrors and the people over there love rom-coms and you wrote a rom-com, you're going to want to throw your book towards the target part of your audience. Very simple concept, but figuring out what your target is can be a little bit more difficult. Why is your target audience important? Knowing your target audience before you start writing or editing your book can be super beneficial for the future you who needs to market your book. Knowing your target audience will help you set parameters for writing rules, what kind of content is allowed to be in your book, what kind of tropes are going to work really effectively for your book that might not have worked if your target audience was someone else. Writing from your first draft with your target audience in mind makes those edits a lot easier and takes away a lot of the guesswork of who you're writing for, what kind of plot you should have, what kind of things people are going to expect from you, and what kind of things you are going to throw off the rails to give your target audience something different. So how do you find your target audience? This is the true kicker question. A lot of the reasons why knowing your target audience will help to advise your writing is because of what readers expect. While I was looking into age groups, I found out that most children's books up to and including YA books are targeted towards audiences that are slightly younger than the age of the characters. So if you have a YA book that has characters who are 17, 18 years old, typically that book is marketed towards 15, 16-year-olds rather than people the same age or older. So a lot of times knowing what your target audience is based on their age range can be super beneficial, even if you're writing an adult book. For characters that are mostly under the age of 40, you can target your age range around the people who are in that same age group. People who are in their 20s will read books about people who are in their late 20s or early 20s. People will interact with people around their same age in that character area. Now, there are a lot of adult readers who will read young adult, so that doesn't always match up. The conflict that your characters interact with should also relate to that character's age. So you wouldn't have, well, most of the time, you wouldn't have a 45-year-old character worrying about how they're gonna get the best dress to go to prom and get their first kiss. Most of the time, that wouldn't be the conflict that would be bothering a 45-year-old. Maybe your 45-year-old character should be having mortgage troubles. I don't know what 45-year-olds deal with. I am not 45. But keeping in mind the character's age, the conflicts that they are going through are going to be similar to the conflicts that your readers are experiencing. Giving them solutions through your story, through the character's experience, providing a different perspective through your story is what most readers are going for, is something different than the life that they are currently in, or something that can help them with the life that they are currently in. A YA target audience is going to have a lot different problems than a 4 to 6 year old children's book area, and that is going to have a lot different conflicts than a adult 50 to 60 year old age range target audience. So keeping in mind, target audience's age can directly relate to your character's age, the conflicts that you put into your story, the different values that you can address, because certain age ranges can't necessarily interact with different kinds of values and because of marketing and publisher issues. So that gives you that opportunity. And there's always this sort of cusp between young adult and new adult books because it's a new genre and it's sort of pushing the boundaries of young adult into adult, giving you more opportunities to have more adult content rather than just the PG version. In YA, but your characters do have to be of an age that they could be considered new adults for that age range as well. Another place to think about is what genre or genres is your book in, because your genre is going to give you a lot of directive for how to market your story, how to develop a cover, how to write your synopsis, how to do all kinds of marketing and presentation stuff. That genre is going to help you so much to be able to clarify and narrow down down your options and really clear it out. I don't know if you've seen, but there's been a lot of books with the same cover design in different styles, but it's all pretty much the same look. That's because they know that their target audience is for the same people who read these books. If it has this cover, you'll probably also enjoy this book. That's what they're going for. And knowing your genre, I wouldn't necessarily push it so far as to have the exact same design with tweaks as a bunch of other books, but knowing your genre helps to market in that same subconscious way. And other books that may not necessarily be in the same genre, but your target reader would enjoy, may be beneficial to know as well. So if you're writing a mystery novel and you know that your readers would also have enjoyed a specific romance story, like a specific love story that relates to your story in some kind of way, but doesn't necessarily seem like it fits because your genre is a mystery book and that's a romance story. How do they fit? That's going to intrigue your readers. If you have a whole bunch of different genre books that are influencing your story in some aspect, if you can say, oh, I feel like this has the same energy as that book in this scene. We all take a little bit of inspiration from the things that we read. Market on that. Build your target audience based off of what you know you've read that may have influenced your story. It's not saying that you stole something from anybody or that you're copying things. It's just inspiration and we all do it and it all happens. Why not monopolize on it and use it to help sell your book? Something I want to point out that I found through some of my research is that YA and NA, young adult and new adult readers, are pretty much the same audience most of the time because they share different tropes and they share a similar point of life where certain values are highly emphasized and are not necessarily emphasized in other points of life. The difference between these two becomes content. Is there anything sexual going on? How much detail are you going to give on that? Too much. Too much detail is probably new adult. Not very much, but like, you know what's going on. That could be YA, but it's a very, very narrow line to cross. How much swearing is going to happen in your story can also be an influencer on YA versus NA. Is it tasteful or is it a character trait? Does this character drop an F-bomb every sentence? Probably going to want to lean towards new adult so that marketing doesn't cause trouble with parents who don't want their kids to read young adult books that have a lot of swearing in it. You're just covering your butt for the future, even though those books are marketed towards the same audiences. Young adult and new adult books both typically have messages, something to learn at the end of the book, something that can influence somebody between the ages of 14 and 25 to become a better person and affect the world more positively, where adult books typically don't. They're usually just like, yeah, these things happened. Here's the solution. Congrats, you read it. And it's not necessarily like, wow, we learned something. We're better people now, which young adult and new adult books are a lot more subtle than that, but it's still there. It's not there most of the time for just regular adult books. So that's something to keep in mind if you want to write in that YA new adult area. You're going to need to have that aspect, otherwise it's just going to feel wrong. But if you don't want that aspect, maybe adult books is going to be a better target audience for you. I think the best way to find your target audience is to come up with one single person who this book is for. If that person is you, the writer, that's fine. What makes you want to read this book? Not that you wrote it. It can't be that you wrote it. What does that person like? What do they dislike? What is their life like? What do they value? What are the things they're worried about? Create a whole character profile on this person who is the one person who would read your book if there was only one person in the world. What influenced them to get to the point that they would read your book? What are they looking for out of your book that real life can't provide them? What are they gonna get? What is their life motto? What is their daily mantra? Tell me who this person is in full detail and you'll be able to get your target audience so quickly because there are so many more people who are gonna have multiple aspects of that one person. And that's gonna bring one person into like 90 people, and then those 90 people are gonna be like, hey, you also would like this book, and then those 90 people are gonna tell other 90 people, and so on and so forth until you've got your target audience. So that's gonna ripple out like how a dartboard would. You've got your target in the very, very center. But if you hit the board, you're still gonna get some points. So you just wanna build out from that one point and ripple out. And getting that one point will make it so much easier. Because if you're like, this person wants to walk dogs for a living, but can't afford to do that. Dog people might like your book. That ripples out from there. You've got so much potential to find your target audience just by finding your target person. So that is all I have for you today. If you enjoyed this video, if you learned something, if you know how to look for your target audience now, leave a like down below. It'll really help me out and tell YouTube that more people may enjoy this video and find something useful out of it. If you don't want to miss any more of my content, hit that subscribe button and the notification bell. I put out a new video every Saturday and Tuesday, story study Saturdays and writing tip Tuesdays, and that notification bell will help it so that you do not miss a single upload. If you want to take the time to find your target audience, let me know in the comments. Tell me who that one person is and tell me something about that one person who would read your book. Tell me if it's you and tell me why. I would love to talk to you about your target audience and answer any questions that you have in the comments down below. So I will see you on Saturday for a story study Saturday.